Prince William and Prince Harry are on very different paths with very different attitudes, values and beliefs about their future roles. So in this video, I'm going to look at the difference between a life dedicated to kingdom versus a life dedicated to stardom. If you're new to my channel, it's lovely to have you here and I do hope you stay watching. And if you're one of my regular subscribers and watching, then thank you so much for all your amazing support and fantastic comments and emails and messages. Do keep it up, as it really is so very much appreciated. Now, I believe that when Charles becomes king, and of course then followed by William, that they will continue to uphold the values and traditions of a country that's proud of the generations before us who worked tirelessly to build it. But of course, in opposition, I do also find it incredibly sad that Harry now represents this woke and snowflake handout culture where people grow into adults but they remain as spoilt children because they believe that they're entitled to have whatever they want based purely upon the fact that they have the right to protest that life is simply not fair if they don't get it. Well, the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral brought Harry back to his own land. And I would love to know whether he was looking back at all his military life, wishing that he was able to wear the uniform that all the other military personnel that were there on the day, they wore with immense pride. Or was Harry looking at Windsor Chapel and recalling the last time that all the family were there in 2018 to support him on an equally sunny and glorious day? But again, just like Prince Philip's funeral, that was a day that will forever signify the end of an era. Or maybe Harry was counting his steps till he could escape the family that he has stated made him feel so incredibly trapped. Now, Harry and his wife, they claimed that they were finding freedom, but I think it's now pretty obvious that she was in fact out to find stardom. Because as a B-list celebrity, Meghan joined the cast of this biggest A-list production in the world. And I wonder if this is where she got a little bit confused between the difference of Hollywood royalty and British royalty. Now, you see, because in Hollywood, you have the ability and the supposed opportunity to move up the ladder and knock your competitor off the top spot. Think about it. In order to be crowned Hollywood royalty, all you need to do is to outshine anybody that is ranked above you. And the more press coverage you gain, whether it's either positive or negative press, you are kept in the spotlight until you are eventually crowned the King or Queen of Hollywood. But the British royal family, of course, well, they couldn't be more different, could they? Because here your position is pretty much fixed. You're presented with your position in the hierarchy, and everybody knows that you just don't upstage anybody who is higher up this royal ladder. So imagine the shock when you not only learn that you have zero chance of getting anywhere near the top job, you also have to curtsy to those who hold any status above you, including the Queen, just in case anybody else out there didn't know that you have to curtsy to the Queen. So Harry and Meghan, well, they chose the ratings route rather than the succession route. And for a while, they may enjoy the bright lights and the adoration of Tinseltown. But I believe that the only future prediction that is almost certain is that it just won't last. Now, I'm not going to be negative or to criticise the LA lifestyle because I'm actually quite envious of so much of it when I say that it's false, because we all know that, just like, toys, fashion, or even eyebrows, what is in 1 minute is very much out the next because there is simply no loyalty to anybody or anybody's brand. So the stardom life will pick them up, but it's going to drop them back down again with one almighty thud. As once they find out that the value of their brand holds no job security, they may just find themselves out in the cold. And as Oprah moves on to interview the next big thing, I wonder whether the nickname of Has will ever be short for has been. William's future within the royal family is based upon hundreds of years of tradition. And even though they've had their ups and downs like any family has, they are not a fad or a phase. And they reward loyalty with a lifetime of status and support. Now, the British love any opportunity to display the pageantry, the pomp and the ceremony that makes us so unique. And nobody does it better than the royal family. And that's because the monarchy has been at the heart of the traditions, values and sense of duty to the country that so many still hold very close to their hearts to this day. So watching Prince Philip's funeral did so much to remind us all what it means to have loyalty, integrity, honour and tradition. Every single aspect was carried out with military precision, and that's another reminder that when we pull our fingers out, as the late Duke would have put it, nobody puts on a better show. At 2:41 p.m. exactly, massed military bands stood still as the first pallbearers from the Grenadier Guards stepped out, carrying the Duke of Edinburgh's coffin that was covered with his personal standard, his sword, naval cap and a wreath of flowers with a personal message from the Queen. With the coffin placed with timely precision and controlled accuracy onto the self-designed Land Rover hearse, the different military divisions stood with their heads bowed as the Foot Guards band marched from the quadrangle to Windsor Chapel playing "I Vow to Thee, My Country." No words could have said it better. Now, whether you're a royalist or not, there was bound to have been at least one part of the day that not only moved you, but showed you what it means to be part of the institution that Harry has simply stopped defending. I filled up seeing the Duke's two fell ponies standing as good as gold in front of his carriage, with just his gloves, his cap and a little pot of sugar lumps on his empty seat, and also the moment when all the chefs and the housekeeping staff bowed their heads and formed a line of their own, and then the Duke's core team, from his private secretary to detectives and his valets, who all came out and wanted to say farewell to an immensely popular boss. Now, I really hope that Harry recorded the day and watched it back maybe when he got home with Meghan, because for me, this is what the family that he turned his back on is actually all about. Now, there are going to be perks in every job, but in return, in real life, it's not always about being able to do what you want to do. It's always about doing what is right and also doing what is required, no matter how hard that might be at times. So whilst Harry was taking walks along the beach and having bike rides with Archie, the bike rides that he never managed to do as a child, the Royal Marines were tirelessly rehearsing for what must have been, in my mind, the most difficult and the toughest job of the day. As the second bearer party, they had to remove the coffin from the Land Rover, rotate it 90 degrees, and then, knowing that they were being watched by the world, carry it up 3 flights of steps and pause for a minute's silence. And they had to do all of this without dislodging the Duke's standard, his cap and sword, and the Queen's wreath from the top of the coffin. Now, I'm sure that they saw their role as the greatest honour and privilege in their life, whereas Harry, well, he managed to fly into the UK, walk behind the coffin before walking back up the hill and then flying home the day before the Queen's 95th birthday. For me, the sight of the Queen sitting all alone with her handbag placed on the seat beside her, the seat that used to be filled by her soulmate, the Duke of Edinburgh, well, that showed so much strength, commitment and courage for such a tiny, frail body. What on earth must have been going on through her mind, I will never know, as she watched her husband's coffin being slowly lowered into the chapel vault. Prince Charles looked distraught, and pulling a handkerchief from his pocket, he dabbed his eyes and proceeded to walk back up the hill with the Duchess of Cornwall. He's not only lost a father, he's also lost his son, who not only left the family, but tried to discredit what they stand for and take them down in the process. Well, it's been a rather smug cliche for quite a long time that no one does these things quite like the British. But in reality, it's absolutely true. But that's because we've been doing it for hundreds of years. And that is why I find it really hard to believe that there wasn't a part of Harry that didn't feel a huge sense of loss for the life that he has given up in exchange for being his wife's golden ticket. I don't think I'm alone when I say that I fear that the next time we see Great Britain raise the bar even higher will be a funeral that brings our country, the Commonwealth and probably many others around the world to a complete standstill. It's a day that we all know is getting more and more realistic and it's inevitable. And it's a day that we also know is already planned and prepared to precision. Well, the future of the monarchy will one day be in the hands of Prince William, and I'm sure that he will continue the Queen's amazing work to promote his kingdom as the land of hope and glory. The one thing that we know about people is that we are all different, but feeling that you don't quite fit in can leave you feeling anxious and also quite lonely. Well, understanding who you are and how you're perceived by others and what makes you tick is the first step in building much better relationships. Because once you've learned how behaviours are formed, you can then start to read other people and almost know more about them than they do themselves. So whether it's a friend, a family member, a work colleague, or maybe you're looking for that perfect partner and you haven't quite worked out that you've been looking at all the wrong qualities, I can teach you the secrets of human behaviour. For just £297, I will send you my online behaviour analysis questionnaire, and once completed, you will get a 2-hour one-to-one Zoom feedback session with me, and I will give you full feedback on the report. It really will change the way you see yourself and other people forever. To find out more information, just email me the words "tell me who I am" to sue@sueblackhurst.com, and I'll also pop my email address in the description box below. Thank you so much again for watching and all your support, and it would be a massive help if you could like, share this video, and of course, don't leave without subscribing and following me on Instagram. Do take care, everybody, and I will see you all next time.